Welcome to this deep dive, and today we are going to be tackling dog potty training.
All right.
We've got some podcast transcripts to dig into,
Yeah.
and even if you don't have a dog right now,
Yeah.
stick with us.
Yeah.
This could help you build a better bond with any dog, really.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I learned some things about canine behavior in general that I just never even thought
Oh,
about.
yeah, for sure.
And you will not believe how often puppies have to go to the bathroom.
It is true.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, so potty training, it's often treated as this like chore.
Right.
But the sources that we looked at really stressed that it's so much more than that.
Yeah. It's not just telling them, to go potty. It's about really understanding their world and how they see things.
Yeah, it creates a sense of security for them.
Right. Exactly. Imagine, your home is like your safe haven, your safe space.
Right.
And you have no idea where the bathroom is.
Oh, that makes total sense.
And that's kind of what it's like for them. So when we give them a place to go, that actually reduces anxiety. It's like structure predictability.
Yeah, it's like you're giving them the rule book.
Exactly.
And then they could just be confident.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so speaking of rules and structure
Yeah.
for puppies specifically,
Yeah.
I was blown away by the 1 hour per month of age thing,
Oh, yeah.
like their bladder capacity.
Oh, it's so true. I mean,
Yeah.
how do people manage that?
A lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah.
So that's why routine right away is critical.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, after meals, after naps, before bedtime, you've got to get them on a schedule.
Yeah, you have to.
And then every couple of hours in between, too.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so another thing that stood out to me from the sources was the whole using the same spot every time.
Right, using the same spot.
So is that because they've got, like, super smell?
Well, yeah, I mean, compared to us, their sense of smell is incredible.
Oh, for sure.
It's like high-definition surround sound
Yeah.
constantly.
Wow.
So using the same potty spot really helps them understand, like, okay, this is where we do business. So it's like we're speaking their language, but with scent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And of course, we can't forget about rewards.
The good stuff.
Yes. So lots of praise, lots of treats.
Immediately.
Right. But does it really have to be like that instant?
It really does.
Really?
Yeah, those first few seconds after they go.
Okay.
It's like this window of opportunity in their little brains where they make that connection.
Interesting.
So you've got to hit that save button.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Instant good boy and a treat.
Okay, so neurological magic trick happening.
It is a little bit.
Okay, so we've covered kind of puppy basics.
Yeah.
But what about older dogs?
Right.
Maybe they're joining a family later in life.
Sure.
What do we do there?
Well, the first thing is always a vet visit
Oh,
because sometimes accidents could be caused by a medical condition.
so rule that out first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to start training when actually it's something else going on.
Huh. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Okay, so visit first and then training.
Absolutely.
Okay, and speaking of training,
Yeah.
I was interested in all the talk about enzymatic cleaners.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, I kind of just use regular cleaner and haven't really noticed a problem.
Yeah.
Is that really like necessary or is it just, clever marketing?
It's a good question. And while, it might mask the smell for our noses, remember how sensitive their sense of smell is?
Oh, yeah.
So they can still smell those tiny traces.
So even though I don't smell it,
You don't smell it. They do.
and that's just leading them right back to the scene of the crime.
Back to the scene of the crime.
Okay.
The enzymatic cleaners, they break down those molecules.
Oh, wow.
Completely.
So it's like erasing the evidence.
Exactly.
Okay, I never thought about it like that. That's really interesting. So we're removing that temptation. Okay, that makes sense. And I imagine patience is like extra important with an older dog.
Right. Absolutely, because, you're asking them to change, ingrained habits. It's like asking someone to change their handwriting after, years and years.
Yeah, that's true.
You've got to be understanding and gentle.
So let's talk about some of those challenges because it's not always smooth sailing.
It is not.
What are some of the common things that people run into and how can we troubleshoot?
Let's do rapid fire.
Okay, rapid fire. I'm ready.
Hit me.
All right, give me a challenge.
Okay, accidents indoors. It's bound to happen, right?
Oh, yeah. What do we do?
Don't panic. The key is to focus on preventing future ones and clean thoroughly. Punishment after the fact doesn't really teach them anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So just reinforce that potty routine, maybe increase supervision, and of course use that enzymatic cleaner we talked about.
So basically, don't yell at the dog.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, what about dogs who just refuse to go out when it's like yucky out?
Ah, yes, the fair weather potty goers. Well, in those cases, a covered area can be a game changer, or even just moving the potty spot closer to the house under a tree or an awning.
So like a little potty oasis.
Exactly. Make it a little more appealing.
Okay, smart. Okay, now let's talk marking. Is that the same thing as just like peeing, or is there something else going on?
Marking is more about communication. They're leaving scent messages for other dogs. So
Interesting.
it's less about eliminating waste.
Okay, so like dog world Post-it notes.
Exactly. They're leaving little notes everywhere.
I love that. Okay, so neutering or spaying obviously can help reduce that urge.
Right. It can definitely help.
And then just consistent training.
Yes. Consistent training is key.
Okay, last rapid fire challenge. Nighttime accidents.
Oh, the dreaded nighttime wake-up call.
Yes. Any tips?
Well, for puppies, try limiting water an hour or two before bed.
Oh, okay.
And for older dogs, a late night potty break and an early morning, one can make a world of difference.
So it's all about just, tweaking that schedule a little bit.
Exactly. Being proactive.
Okay, so we've covered so much. But if you had to pick, what's the most important thing for potty training success?
Consistency, hands down.
Really?
Consistent commands, consistent rewards, consistent routine,
Even when I think they've got it.
especially when you think they've got it, because
Okay.
that reinforces their understanding and builds confidence.
Oh, that makes sense. And it
That's
goes
true.
back to what we were talking about earlier. It's not just about, housebreaking. It's really about that bond.
Right. Building that trust and that communication.
Exactly. It makes me wonder, are there other ways to kind of tap into that communication even beyond potty training?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about the things we've talked about today. Consistency observation, positive reinforcement. These aren't just dog training techniques.
Oh, that's a good point.
These are the foundations of any healthy relationship.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
It applies to everything.
So consistency builds trust observation,
Yeah.
helps us understand their perspective,
Right.
and positive reinforcement encourages those good behaviors that we want to see more of.
Exactly.
Man, my mind is blown. This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has been fun.
It's really made me see potty training as so much more than just, teaching them where to go.
It's about so much more than that.
It's really like an ongoing conversation.
It is, and that's what makes it so rewarding. When you and your dog can really communicate, it strengthens your bond in such an amazing way.
So for our listeners who are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed and like, okay, I want to do this, but how do I even start?
Right.
What's one simple thing they can do today?
I would say spend just 5 minutes today observing your dog.
Just watching them.
Just watching them. No distractions, no phone, no TV. Just you and your furry friend pay attention to their body language, their facial expressions, their movements. I might be surprised by what you see.
It's like a little mini meditation with your dog.
It really is. And you might start to pick up on those subtle keys we were talking about. Or maybe you'll just notice something adorable that you've never really appreciated before.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with my pup tonight. Okay,
Okay.
so just observation.
Observation. It's powerful.
Powerful stuff. All right, well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of dog potty training.
It has been a pleasure.
Likewise. And to our listeners, we hope you've learned some new tricks and maybe gained a fresh perspective on the amazing bond we share with our dogs. And remember, potty training is just the beginning. There's a whole world of communication waiting to be discovered. So get out there, observe your dog, and see what you can learn.
Yeah. It really is like unlocking a secret code,
It is.
It's amazing, and it's made me see potty training in a whole new light.
Yeah.
It's less about giving commands and more about having like an ongoing conversation with them.
I love that. That's a great way to put it. And that's what makes it so rewarding.
Yeah.
When you and your dog can really communicate effectively, it just strengthens your bond.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, what other ways are there to strengthen that communication?
Oh, there's so many.
Even beyond potty training,
Yeah. I mean, and think about what we talked about today.
Consistency, observation, positive reinforcement, those aren't just dog training techniques.
Right.
Those are the foundation of any good relationship.
That's so true.
Whether it's with a canine or a human.
You're so right. It applies to everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so consistency builds trust observation, helps us understand their perspective,
Right.
and a positive reinforcement, well, that just encourages those good behaviors that we want to see.
Exactly.
Gosh, this deep dive has been full of aha moments.
It has.
It's really shown how even something like potty training can be so meaningful
Yeah.
when we approach it with the right mindset.
Absolutely. It's all about shifting our perspective
Yeah.
and realizing that, every interaction, no matter how small, has the potential for growth and learning.
I love that. Okay, so for our listeners who are thinking, okay, this is great, but how do I actually start?
Yeah.
What's one thing they can do today?
I would say just spend 5 minutes today observing your dog.
Okay.
No distractions, no phone, no TV, just you and your furry friend.
Just being present.
Yeah, just being present with them, pay attention to their body language, their facial expressions, how they move. You might be surprised by what you notice.
Like a mini meditation with your dog.
It really is, and you might start to pick up on those subtle cues that we were talking about, or maybe you'll just notice something adorable about your dog that you never really appreciated before.
Oh, I love that. I'm definitely going to do that with my pup tonight. Just 5 minutes
Just 5 minutes.
of observation.
It's powerful.
It is powerful stuff. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of dog potty training.
It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure, and to our listeners, we hope you've learned some new insights and maybe even gained a fresh perspective on the incredible bond that we share with our canine companions. And remember, potty training is just the beginning. There's a whole world of communication waiting to be discovered. So get out there, observe your dog, and see what you can learn.